Hey everybody, this is Alex, PostMesmeric, checking in with an unscripted, off-the-cuff update video for the channel, future projects, and a few little small occurrences that have happened over the last, month or so. So before I dive into this, I do want to make it absolutely clear because update videos, they scare people. They think that there's going to be something different, that content is going to be coming out slower, or there's some life-changing moment that basically causes an entire reevaluation of their YouTube standing. And I guess I'll just clarify this right out the gate, that nothing will be changing as far as production schedule, as far as output or anything like that. This is really just an update video as far as things that don't really have to do directly with the actual production, I guess, if that makes any sense. Videos will continue to come out in mostly the same way as they usually do. I mean, different videos usually have different schedules, different amounts of time and resources put into them. It really depends on, what I'm covering, how in depth I want it to go. But really, things are going to be the same. There isn't going to be any sort of stunt or massive overarching change as far as output. I want to make that clear. That's what I wanted to come out of the gate with, is say, reassure everybody that PostMesmeric content is going to continue going down the same, timeline, So don't worry about that. I always want to make that clear. I always want to be transparent about what I'm doing. And so there will be no change. I originally wanted to come out with this update video a while ago, but I really wanted to make, I guess what I'm saying is that I wanted the Kingdom Hearts 3 fulfillment video to come out first. I think that if I had put the update video out beforehand, it would give off the impression that I've been just taking my sweet old time and just compiling an update video, and this would be all I had to show for it, even though that's not the case. But I wanted that video to come out first before I start going into all of this update video stuff. And I'm very pleased with, I'm really happy that video sort of attracted a lot of, not so much discussion, but perspective from a lot of people who agreed with it, some people who didn't. I think that video was a bit of an outlier. I don't usually make videos that long. I don't usually cover that much in a video. There was a lot that went into that, and I appreciate that, the feedback that I've gotten from that. But enough about, just stuff in the past. I kind of want to focus on the future and be totally transparent about what exactly is going on. As far as the channel goes, I guess as far as me, myself. But like I said, as far as output, I don't think anything's really holding me back from staying the course and continuing to produce content that not only am I happy with the output, but also happy with the quality. So I guess the biggest, most apparent occurrence that happened is you can now support PostMesmeric on Patreon. This was something I was kind of strong-armed into, but it is something that I've been considering considerably over probably the last several months. But I have very mixed feelings about having a Patreon, and I do think that the whole concept of Patreon was sort of put into the ring as a way for creators to, a more independent method of supporting themselves via by making their work and letting people directly support them instead of just, doing it through ad revenue. YouTube anyway. I know there are people who create things other than just YouTube content, and it was never something that really sat well with me. I I never wanted to make a Patreon, honestly, because at least not now, because I don't think that my stuff is good enough to start asking for people to pay it forward. I do like making videos. I'm proud of a lot of them, but, and this could just me being overly humble, but it's awkward asking for money in any way, or even just opening the door is like, okay, you can give me money if you want. I mean, I never really had any intention of making anything from this except perhaps, I guess, a following. I mean, subscribers are subscribers and I value every single one of them. But, I had mixed feelings of monetizing any of my content, and I have mixed feelings of having a way for people to support me financially. And I know a lot of other people are like, your work's good. You deserve to have a level of, financial support coming back to you. You've earned that. And I just can't agree with that. I have this idea where it's like, the stuff's good, but is it that good? So, I have mixed feelings on this. And I think the number one reason why I'm so concerned about this is that I never, ever, ever, ever want this to be a job. I don't want this to be a job in any way. I'm happy with my current job. I'm happy doing this for fun, not locking myself into a very strict, rigid, deadline-ridden YouTube upload schedule. I think that would take a lot of fun out of it. And not to say that having some spare cash on the side isn't nice. I mean, it's nice being able to get a small amount of cash and, buy a game or two or something like that. That's great. I like that feeling. But there are a lot of people who's like, why don't you ever want to make this a job? Don't you ever want to do it? And absolutely not. Well, I've been over this so many times that I just can't do it. It's just not, I think it would ruin a lot of it for me. It would ruin a lot of the fun of just making stuff that makes people smile or makes them think about something in an entirely different way. I like that. I like being able to do that. That's its own reward. I'm still, there's ad revenue. Now there's Patreon, and it's just a really confusing situation for me, I guess. And, but it's something that I was, like I said, I was sort of strong-armed into because of the whole climate of content creation and Patreon itself. So I guess at the end of the day, what I'll say is if you do want to support me, go ahead and do it. You have the option. I don't really have any sort of big rewards. A lot of people say you can join my Discord. You can, get some sort of special, play video games with me over the internet or something like that. And I don't know how to approach this. All I can really say is, if you want to pay it forward, if you do want to support me in one way or another, you can do it by Patreon. I only have one tier right now. I'm not an expert on how this works, let alone creating things for people in return. You can support me in any way you wish, whether it's $1 or, I'll probably add some more tiers down the line. But right now I'm just really new at this. I'm not totally comfortable with having people, pay it forward that way. Not to say I'm ungrateful or anything, but it's just, I'm new at this. If you do want to support me on Patreon, there is a link in the description. And, like I said, there is one tier at the moment. I may produce more as in the case that more and more people support me on Patreon. Feel free to give me suggestions as to things that you would like to see as far as additional reward tiers. It still feels weird to even think that anybody would support me, pay it forward like that. But if you do decide to do it, thank you very much. Because even just knowing that there's a little bit of a few bucks coming my way is nice. And it makes me feel a lot better about myself and my own content. If you don't want to support me on Patreon, or if you're not in a position where you can, don't worry. I will continue making content. You will continue to receive content. This is really, I'm using it as a tip jar. It may change down the line, but right now it's a tip jar. And for the foreseeable future anyway, it's going to be that way. So that's the big Patreon deal. I guess I'll use the rest of the video to sort of discuss what to expect as far as new content. Right now, I'm working on 2 videos. I'm working on 2 different, capturing the footage for 2 different videos. And those are, I don't have a timeline on them just yet, but there are a couple games that I've been looking to cover for a pretty long time. And I think that now with the big Kingdom Hearts 3 project done, I can focus more on something, I guess, that's a little more, I don't know, traditional as far as content goes. These videos are, they're going to take as much time as they need, but I do hope to get them done sooner than later. It's nice having some ideas in the tank because there's always the case where it's like, I don't know what to do next. I need to come up with an idea. I need to hurry. That's putting pressure on you. But I'm glad that we have some on deck ideas. I guess the last thing that I'll say regarding the upcoming content is feel free to suggest ideas to me. One of my favorite videos that I've done, in fact, the Freedom Planet video that I did a while ago, was actually suggested to me by an old journalist friend of mine who, he's on to bigger and better things in the, adult life. I've gotten in touch with him a little while, seeing how he's doing. It was really cool. Just, he suggested the idea and I, gave Freedom Planet a try and it just blew my mind. It was just an amazing game and gave me a lot of stuff to talk about. And that's still a pretty popular video, relatively as far as my content goes. I mean, it's not going to be the level of the Danganronpa videos, but it is nice to see suggestions grow into something that you probably might not have figured out on your own. Sometimes you just need a little bit of a push. So if you have any suggestions, think that it'd be something that I'd like, something that you'd like to see me cover, go ahead and let me know. I'm not against feedback in any way. So, leave a comment or talk to me on Twitter. Or just, it's nice having some new ideas. So go ahead. I'm opening the floodgates to suggestions and, let me know what you think. And before anyone says, why haven't you done a video on Danganronpa 2? Look, I do a lot of Danganronpa content and that is something I'd like to do at some point. But really, I don't want this to just be a Danganronpa channel. I like the Danganronpa games. I like talking about them. That one is probably going to have to wait a while, but Danganronpa 2 is really the only Danganronpa game left that hasn't gotten covered. So there, Danganronpa 2. So to wrap this up, because I've been rambling for several minutes, to everybody who subscribed, everybody who follows me on Twitter, everyone who watches, shares, likes, to all of the other content creators that I kind of am able to talk to on the side instead of just through like comments or anything like that. Everyone who talks to me on Discord. This, just getting up to 5,000 subscribers was monumental to me. And I know that celebrating that is, there are some people out there who's like, 5,000, that's so small. Why are you celebrating this? And it's like, because I never thought I'd be here. It just started with some shitty Let's Plays and eventually it became, I see people recommend my channel, or I'm seeing game developers actually follow me on Twitter or say that they watch my videos or like the things that I talk about. And it's a surreal feeling. And I'm kind of part of a crowd but I don't want this to really become any sort of, top tier stuff. What I mean by that is that I don't want this to go to my head. I don't want to feel like I'm some huge authoritative voice on the outlets of the industry. And I'm like, I'm just a guy with a microphone, a capture device, and an opinion. I'm not much else than that. And I don't think I ever will be. And I'm okay with that. I like making videos. I like seeing people respond, even if you disagree with me. I like that you gave my videos a shot, shared your thoughts, shared the video around, gotten other people to watch it. It's a good feeling, and I really am so grateful for that. So grateful. In the meantime, videos will continue to go. They will continue to be produced at a semi-regular method. Nothing too different as far as timeliness or, frequency. Feel free to support me on Patreon, but only if you really want to. I will not just lock any of my content behind a paywall, because I think that that's something that I'm just not in agreement with. And feel free to suggest me ideas. There's a lot of games out there, and there are so many that get overlooked. I mean, I keep track of the release schedule as much as I can, and even now there's just a lot that kind of goes under the radar. So I better wrap this up. I've been just talking into a mic for several minutes now, and some stuff you might agree with, some stuff you might have questions about. If you have any sort of questions about my content, the Patreon, the timeline of upcoming ideas, or a suggestion for a game, just leave a comment. I read them. I read all the comments. I know there's this mentality where you shouldn't read the comments. Like, there are people who's like, hey, absolutely don't look at the comments. And I don't agree with that whatsoever. Like, I'm in a position where I don't get a huge amount of comments. So, I don't want to take them for granted. I don't want to take feedback from people who genuinely want to see me grow and genuinely want to see evolution and positive change for what I do. I can't take that for granted. I can't overlook that. So thank you for sitting through this crazy update video. I appreciate all of your support. Looking forward to making more content, more game analysis, retrospectives, thinking out loud series, all of that. There's going to be a lot coming down the pipeline for the rest of the year. And it's great to have you on this journey with me. Means a lot. So thank you for listening. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care.